3 methods in research. So today we will learn how to conduct a research. Okay, there are in particular there are two research methods. Okay, the first one we call it the quantitative, and the second one we call it qualitative research. Okay, so if you look at the approaches in education research, we have the quantitative, which is also called the positivist approach, and also qualitative, we call it interpretive approach. So they are both different things, different methods used for different types of research. Okay, I'll tell you more later. Okay, so later on you will be doing the research, right? So this is basically the whole entire research process of both quantitative and qualitative research. They have the same exact process. The only thing that will be different is the method that you will be using to conduct the research. Okay, so it will start with the research process. Starts with a research problem first. It's either you want to find a solution, you want to find to understand and explore the problem deeper. Okay, it depends on what your purpose or objective of your research is. Okay, so normally it is about a research problem. Okay, there is a problem that you have found out. Okay, remember yesterday I taught you about why Malaysian students, they are not proficient in English. So that is a problem that you want to explore and find out. Okay, why are Malaysian students not good in English? Why can't they write properly or speak properly? So that itself is a problem. So you want to study that. Okay, so that is why now you have a problem. This is research problem. Here is chapter 1. Then you are going to look into literature review. You will have to go to Google Scholar, go to the library website. You're going to look for journal article papers about research that other people have done before concerning this problem. Okay, maybe somebody in 2015 have done a research before to understand why students cannot master English language in high school. And then in 2018, there's another person who have actually studied this problem as well, like why students in primary school cannot actually pronounce and speak properly. Okay, so that is why there is a change in our syllabus also, you know, because in the past we use whole word approach to teach students how to read and pronounce, but now we use the phonics approach because somebody carried out a research and found out that this problem can be solved by changing the method of teachers teaching English to students in primary school. Okay, so how do they do that? Is by doing research. They conducted a research. Okay, so literature review basically is to find out what other people have researched about in the past. Okay, so you need to find about 5-6 journal articles to see what people have found out about the problem that you would like to study. Okay, so after that you will formulate research questions. Once you have the research questions, then you will determine which approach or method you will be using. Will you be using the quantitative or will you be using the qualitative research method? Okay, then that brings you to research design. So this one here is chapter 3 already. So research process, research problem is chapter 1. Literature review is chapter 2. When you come to quantitative research design, here is chapter 3 already. So we have 3 main designs. Okay, the first design we call it quantitative designs. Okay, so quantitative designs, we often do or carry out experiments, like, you know, engineering and all that, biology, chemistry. They actually look more into experiments. Okay, then we have correlational studies, okay, for quantitative, and then survey. So basically quantitative, as the root word dictates, quantity, it's more towards number based. You are collecting data in forms of numbers. Okay, so this is quantitative. Then we have combined design, where you will be looking at both mixed methods and action research. Mixed method meaning you are combining quantitative and qualitative together. Probably you have a survey questionnaire, and then you also have an interview or classroom observation. So that is like a combined designs. Okay, then you have qualitative, grounded theory, ethnography, narrative. So It is more towards things like interviews, classroom observations. Okay, these are all qualitative designs. Okay, you are trying to prove a theory, probably grounded theory. Okay, so after you have the research design, right, you will start with sampling. Sampling meaning who are your targeted participants. Okay, if you are looking into academic performance for high school students, so your participants should be high school students and not primary school students or even university students, because your sample is high school students. You are trying to find out and study high school students. Okay, then instruments and protocols will be your survey questionnaire. You have to formulate your survey questionnaire. That is the instrument. Then the protocols, how are you going to administer the survey? Are you going to stand in your cafeteria and pass out survey questionnaires, or are you going to put it into Google Forms and just send it out via online? Okay, so you have to decide that. Okay, after this, now you are done, right? You are done with qualitative design. You are done with the research methodology already. Once you reach protocols here, you are done with research methodology, chapter 3. Okay, then you will collect data, and when it comes to chapter 4, you have to analyze the data that you have collected. That's why it is called data analysis and interpretation. You have interpretation. So you have to present the data that you have collected, analyze it, and interpret it. This one will be under chapter 4. Okay? Then, after you are done with chapter 4, you have analyzed and interpreted the data. It will come down to discussion, conclusion, limitation, and future research. This is chapter 5. You will be discussing the research questions that you have formulated. You will answer the research questions. You will give a conclusion. You will discuss what are the limitations. Limitations, that means in hindsight, what can your research improve on? Let's say probably more what you call that? More participants. Maybe you can cover both high school students in the whole of Semenanjung, Malaysia, maybe more participants. So this is what we call limitation. And then we will look into future research. Okay, what are your suggestions or recommendations? How researchers in the future, what do you suggest them to research and look into? Okay, then we are going to characteristics of quantitative and qualitative research. Quantitative research, right, it describes a problem through a this one here is going to confuse you, but basically quantitative research, right, is to determine a trend of something. You want to prove something. Qualitative, you want to explore. So this one you are proving something, this one you are exploring something. So you don't know yet. There are no walls for you to see yet. So you want to find out and explore deeper. Okay, quantitative, there are some guidelines, meaning people in the past, they have done this research before. So you're trying to prove their whatever theory that they have said and, you know, study their relationship or something like that. Okay, so yeah. Alright. Okay, so now I will show you Google Scholar. Okay, when we look for journal articles, we don't look for journal articles on through Google. Okay, we go to Google Scholar. Okay, Google Scholar is where all the research are published into journal articles. A lot of students, they will mix up between these two terms, research papers and journal articles. Research papers are papers that, you know, all of you can write, I can write. Okay, but that doesn't mean that this is a journal article. Journal article must be published. Okay, what does it mean to be published? To be published means, okay, this paper have gone through proofreading, moderation, checking, a thorough process that, you know, I'm going to validify your paper. It's a good paper, that's why I'm publishing it. So that is why journal articles are the most credible research that you can find online. Okay, research papers, any Tom, Dick and Harry can perform research and say, oh hey, this is my research, but that doesn't mean that whatever that is being said has been validated by somebody who is credible. Okay, so you must remember this. So that's why it is called journal articles. It is published. Research papers, most of them are not published, okay? So let's say you go to Google Scholar, you want to find out something, impact of technology or social media. Okay, let's see. Okay, how do we check? How do we actually perform a search? Okay, I want you to custom range. Normally we perform search, right, through, let's say, the most recent one. Okay, 2020 to 2020. Let's see what are the research that has been published before. Okay, these are the research that has been published before. Then we have to search for research papers that are actually relevant to our topic, 2019 to 2019. So we slowly go through the years. The oldest article that we can take is only 7 years. Okay, only 7 years, nothing older than that. Okay, you can take older articles, but they are not so credible. So my advice is to take articles that are more current. Okay, 2019. Okay, so you look at this. Normally it has to be paid if it's new article. So just so you know. Okay, the impact of social media on learning behavior for sustainable education. Evidence of students from selected universities in Pakistan. Okay, so these are all being published before. It has been published in this MDPI. So it was received, accepted, and published. Can you see? This is a credible paper. It was these authors, they sent in on the 9th February. It was revised 14 March, and then it was accepted and it was published. Okay, so these are all journal articles. So you need to come to Google Scholar in order to find journal articles. Okay, are you clear? Can understand?